President Akufo-Addo has submitted a list of 54 persons to Parliament for approval as ministers of state and deputy ministers. This brings to 110 the total number of ministerial appointees. Member of Parliament for Domi Kwabena and Deputy Majority Leader has also been nominated as Minister for Public Procurement at the office of the President. So really, that's what the situation looks like. This has been described as the largest particular government in history. I just want us to not hold on a bit. We're going to run you through the number of persons that have been appointed and the persons behind this ministerial appointees that we've been given. 110, and that has attracted a lot of reaction, mixed reactions indeed. And for the office of the President, the new portfolios that have been announced today, the persons you see on your screens, Honorable Sarah Adjua-Safo, Office of President, Public Procurement. She is going to be the Minister of State at the Office of the President in charge of Public Procurement. Now, Honorable Brian Achampon also is going to be a Minister of State at the Office of the President. If you recall, prior to this moment, Honorable Adjua-Safo was a Deputy Majority Leader in Parliament. Dr. Nora Jele is also for Agric. Now, this particular portfolio, and that is also one that has generated some reaction, because from what it stands now, you're going to see tonight, when I run you through it, that the Agric Ministry has 3 deputy ministers, including a minister at the presidency and the substantive minister. So what that means is that the Agric Ministry has 5 ministers. 5 ministers, talking about the substantive minister, the 3 deputy ministers that have been named, and the Minister of State in charge of the Agric Ministry at the presidency. Professor Kwesi Yanka, Tertiary Education, and he is also going to be at the office of the President. And indeed, that has also brought up the question as to whether that justifies the 1.5 billion Ghana cedis that was announced as being allocated to the office of the President, which generated some furore, if you recall, sometime last week in Parliament. Now, also, if you look at for the Ministry of Finance, we have 3 deputies as named. Honorable Kweku Kwating, also there, Honorable Abna Osei-Asare and Charles Asiedu-Dartey, and he is the son of Professor Asiedu-Dartey, one of the major founders of the New Patriotic Party. So if you look at that finance ministry, now also to the Ministry of Energy, Honorable Joseph Kujo has been named as the deputy minister nominee there. Honorable Oreku Edu also named there, and Dr. Mohammed Aminanta. And if you recall, Mohammed Aminanta, prior to today, was the executive director of the Africa Center for Energy Policy, ACEP. And sometime in the first and second administration of the New Patriotic Party in the Kufuor regime in the northern region, he served in some capacities there. So Honorable Osei Bonso Amwa, also Obi Amwa, recall he's been named as the Minister of Local Government and Rural Development Deputy Minister. Honorable Collins in team, Honorable Kwesi Boateng Ejay have also been named. And this maps up to the three deputy ministers named for the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development. The Ministry of Finance also has Honorable Kweku Kwating and the Honorable Charles Boahen there. So I just wanted to just give you an idea of exactly how the picture really looks like as we speak. For the Ministry of Information, we have 3 deputy ministers also named for that particular ministry as well. Perry Ketes Kwabla Okujeto, proud to this moment, was a deputy communications director of the New Patriotic Party. Honorable Ama Dokwa Esiama Ejay is a member of parliament, and Honorable Kojo Ponkroma, also the member of parliament for the Ofuashia Rebellion constituency, now also named as the deputy minister of information nominated there for that particular capacity. He's been speaking for government, known in media circles as one person who serves as a journalist, proud to be getting into parliament. Clearly, that has indeed got a lot of reaction from members of the general public and the minority in parliament. I'm going to stay the steam on this particular story just a bit, because 110 has been announced, complements the full government size of the NPP, talking about Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo's government. We're going to get into that very shortly. But meanwhile, the Information Minister, Mustafa Ahmed, has dismissed assertions that a lean government ensures effective governance. He says that the NPP never promised a lean government.
This number of ministers that the president has presented to Parliament brings his entire government to 110 ministers of state and deputies who would assist him deliver on the very ambitious program of national transformation and development. The Akufo-Addo government has inherited a country whose economy is at its weakest, and therefore he requires a strong army that will confront these challenges and resolve them in the rapid manner that we require in order to put our country back on the path of progress and development.
Mustafa Ahmed said a lean government is not a yardstick to measure success of a government.
Nowhere did we ever promise a lean government, because in our view, it is not the leanness or bigness of a government that determines its output and its ultimate performance. We have had in the history of this country governments that are smaller that have landed this country in bigger debt and bigger mess than governments that have had bigger, if you want, ministers. For example, the Kufuor government, apart from this Akufo-Addo government, would have been the government that had the biggest number of ministers and deputy ministers. But everybody knows President Kufuor's record in this country. Everybody knows at the end of President Kufuor's government what we did for this nation. Those who came subsequently after that and created all the financial mess that we have on our hands, which we are still dealing with, had smaller governments. So I can purport to run a government with 10 ministers and still create an avenue for them to loot our nation, if that is what the Ghanaian people want. Or to have a government that is bigger than that, but which has people of integrity, of honesty, who are on the job and doing the things that ought to be done.
All right, so that's the Minister of Information there, Mustafa Ahmed. So just so you know, this 110, that the number or the size of this particular ministerial appointments has been announced by the Akufo-Addo administration. You can find a full complement of the list on 3news.com because there's a lot of